edition of Historic Rugby at Home. I'm your host, Jordan Hewitt, and today we're going to make a Victorian dessert and treat, and it's orange ice cream. Ice cream has been a treat for hundreds of years. The Romans and Greeks ate versions of ice cream. Even the founding fathers, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, they all absolutely loved ice cream. George Washington was actually the primary producer of ice cream in the colony of Virginia in the 1700s. In the 18th century, ice cream is a luxury. Only the rich and famous can have it because ice was such a luxury. Having ice year-round is a problem when we make ice cream. As you go on into the 19th century, ice cream becomes available to the common man. We can read in the newspapers that ice cream was enjoyed in Rugby. They would serve ice cream at the 4th of July when they were having celebrations or any other summertime holiday. The ice was collected off of Clear Fork River. The Clear Fork River would freeze and people would get out there and they would cut the ice up, and then it was placed into an ice house. It was somewhere underground. And throughout the year, a man would travel through town and he would sell ice out of a wagon that came from the ice house. And the ice man would use these tongs to grab up blocks of ice and would bring to houses for people to use in their ice boxes and also to make ice cream. The recipe that I'm making today comes from Mrs. Pliss's Practical Cookbook, which is in the collection of the 1882 Thomas Hughes Free Library here in Rugby. There are a lot of flavors of ice cream, including some we don't eat today. There are recipes for orange ice cream. There are recipes for vanilla ice cream, and some really weird ones like coffee and brown bread ice cream. But today we're going to make really a form of sherbet, and it is orange ice cream. The recipe is as follows. Strain the juice of 3 lemons and 6 oranges in which you have grated the peel of the oranges. When strained, mix it with 1 pound and 12 ounces of fine white sugar and 2 quarts of cream. Mix it well and freeze. This recipe makes a lot of ice cream, and so what we're going to do, we're going to cut this in half. I've started with the juice of 3 oranges, which I've grated and juiced. And then it says the juice of originally 3 lemons, but since we're going to cut the recipe down, I'm only going to do 1 lemon. So now we have in this bowl the juice of the 3 oranges that we squeezed and also the 1 lemon, and we strained the zest out. And to that we're going to add the original recipe asked for 6 oranges, 3 lemons, and 1 pound and 12 ounces of sugar. When you half the recipe, it comes out to about 2 cups or so. So we'll add 2 cups of sugar. And when you make this recipe, the juice looks like maybe half a cup, 1/4 a cup of orange juice if you have orange juice at home. So we're just going to mix that up good. That mixed up well. And then we're going to add to this 1 quart of heavy whipping cream. Now we mix that up well. Now we're going to take our mixture and we're going to put it in the ice cream freezer. They would have used a freezer like this one. You put your ice cream in this canister and then you put the ice and the salt around it, and then you turn the crank until it thickened up. But we've got a modern one that we're going to use. If you don't have an ice cream freezer at home, one thing that you can do is put this mixture in a small jar or a small coffee can and put it inside of a larger jar or a larger coffee can and pack salt and ice around it and then roll it with your feet. Let's go ahead and get this in the freezer and let's see how it does. cream just came out of the ice cream mixer, and now we're going to try it. This is absolutely delicious. It's got a lot of complex flavors. It's not too sweet. And that orange kind of comes in on the tail end, but you get a lot of natural orange flavoring. Tastes absolutely wonderful. But this is something that I could try and have every day, but it's a nice light dessert, not too sweet. And this is something that you could do at your own home if you wanted to. You could copy this recipe. You could attempt it in your own home, but it's absolutely wonderful. You need to try it. But folks, before we leave, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors. Without our sponsors, without viewers like you, we couldn't do anything that we do here on site here at Historic Rugby. Our videos, our tours, everything that we do is because of people like you. So thank you to our sponsors, and thank you. If you want to make a donation to Historic Rugby to support the video series or support any other project, just please go to the website. I'll include the link, and follow the link and just make a donation, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.